I was very impressed with him when he won in Cheltenham. He won really impressively before that in Doncaster, and people thought he should have beaten Alan King's horse Karazak further than he did in Cheltenham, but it was a slow run race. He was a bit keen, but you know, I didn't have to fight with him desperately to get him back and get him settled. He is a lot more relaxed. One at a time there, please. It was soft that day, but he's a horse who travels well, and I think better ground is going to suit him because he does travel. You know, he's not relying on soft ground, but I thought he picked up well. He jumped really well in the second half, a little bit novice through, but he's done a lot of schooling since then. I think he's a great chance. He's a worthy favourite. The ground is going to, you know, is going to decide a lot. Hargam has a great chance on better ground, and I think Beltor would be the opposite on slower ground. The only one of the Irish, the Petite Parisienne, she gets £7. She'd have a squeak. Top Notch would have a chance, but I just felt he lacks the kick that Peace and Co has.
What I'd say about this race is that for young horses, it's over a furlong further than the Champion Hurdle. It's on a different, more stiff track, and so therefore the winner of this tends to go on to be World Hurdle horses. So Arkander, a point in question, he won the trial. Detroit City, they all end up being stayers. For me, yeah, it was, yeah. For me, that's my issue about Peace and Co and Beltor, is that they might be actually too good for the Triumph Hurdle. They might be too quick, they might pull too hard. So for me, I'm looking at the speed of Punjabi. Yeah, well, no, you can always have one, you can have one. But for me, Peace and Co and Beltor might be too good. They might pull too hard. I like Top Notch. I think he's just the right type. He reminds me of Soldatino, Caterino, those hard types that just keep finding, jump well and keep on staying on. For me, I think he's the best of the Hendersons. He's be the one.
Okay, he's a 6-4, 7-4 shot. Barry, when I asked you, again, just before this started, is he your best rider of the week? Straight away, you didn't flinch. You went, no, Sprinter Sacre is my best rider of the week. You stand by that?
I do. Well, you know, this is a novice hurdle, and juveniles especially. You know, this jumping is a big issue. You know, you're a lot more likely to get a clear round at Sprinter than you are with maybe 25 juveniles going around here. It's, you know, it's carnage. I don't think there should. Like he's too short at 5'2" only because the race is as tricky as it is. I think he's the best horse, but he's not likely to get as clear a run as say Sprinter in the Champion Chase. But I don't think it's the test that it used to be. It used to be a real stairs race, but the Fred Winter has taken a lot of the grass out of it. It's a slightly classier race, and the favourites have a better, you know, there's a better record for the favourites. Art Connor won it. He arguably would have won a Champion Hurdle before he got killed, so it's more of a classy horse now that wins it.
Fitzy?
I think the key to Peace and Co winning is Barry. He's got to switch him off, and if he switches him off, I think this horse will win, because you know that is the only worry that you have, that you get into, you just start running blind with him. Some good horses have got beaten in the Triumph. I got beat up Punjabi when Barry won the Champion Hurdle the following year because he was just too keen, and he just ran himself.
There could have been another reason, Mick.
I was just going to say.
Tom Seagal, I'll kick you off that fucking chair. But he's probably right. That's the thing. Barry's going to switch him off. If he switches him off, I think he'll win. I think the ground trial will be a massive plus for Hargam. And I think he'll run a big race if the ground comes up really decent.
Yeah, let me, I'll reiterate what Mick says there. As I say, I was in it there. JP said his best bet of the week was Hargam. He said his AP is absolutely all over it. He said it's been working really well. He was really pleased with it whenever he rode it last.
I think he could be a bit of a Punjabi, and he could be a real Champion Hurdle horse next year, Hargam.
That's one of the most interesting things you said all week, and everyone's talking.
It's the only
Did you hear that? Hargam, everyone. JP's best bet of the week.
Jordan, let's ask Barry, if you could ride Hargam, if you could, who would you ride? Peace and Co or Hargam? If you could, which of the two?
Joe, I don't know, to be honest. The ground is a big thing, as I say. Hargam would want to have good ground. I wouldn't fancy
He'll get that.
necessarily, you know. I don't know, it's not guaranteed.
I've seen Carol Kirkwood,
yeah.
And my God, how magnificently upholstered she is. I've seen her, she says good fast ground because the sun's going to be shining next week. So Hargam are better than Peace and Co.
Can we have a bit of hush in the seats at the back there, please?
We don't have an awful lot to go on. Peace and Co has been more impressive in what he's done. But I would fear Hargam on good ground.
And at the prices, therefore, he looks more
Hargam's
attractive.
probably, yeah. I think Peace and Co is a bad price, but just purely because of the race it is. If it was a 6-runner race, Peace and Co's, then he's a good team.
As you were saying with Peace and Co, he was pulling a bit the last time on the Cheltenham. Slow time, yet he could still win. That speaks for the horse. How close up will you be, say, at half?
We're nearly done. We're on day 4. We're about to move on to the
We
Gold
want to know
Cup.
how the jockey will ride the favourite in the first on Friday.
Michael, you should be interested in how is he going to win. How I do it, how I deliver it, should have no interest in.
Right, Mac, the Gold Cup. We'll give you 30 seconds here. You're bound to bore us to death with a few statistics here, but Stamina is absolutely key.
Stamina is key, and of course you've got 2 horses.
Can't you hold them?
2 horses who won it before trying to win it again. So many of the fences horses, the ground is going to be against them. I'd like little Bobsworth. The ground will be right for Bobsworth. We know it gets the trip. Didn't run a bad race in the Lexus, so we'll hear from the great man himself. But Bobsworth will be because of the ground. Ignore soft ground horses at Cheltenham.
And Barry, of course, he's a 3 times festival winner with an unbelievable record at the track.
Yeah, for whatever reason, he never turned up last year. I schooled him up like that on the Friday, 10 days or a fortnight before the Gold Cup, and felt unbelievably well. Nicky said he was bombing at the minute, but he never turned up, and it's his only day he hasn't turned up in the race because it was last year's Gold Cup. He still ran a good enough race, but never at any stage was out the bridle. I think he's a massive chance, and he's a massive price.
Massive chance, listen to it, he's riding it, massive chance!
I think on form, Silvinaco Conti deserves to be favoured, but there is a question mark about his Cheltenham form. But the horse I've been since I saw him at the start in the Hennessy in Newbury. Jack Adam was so fat in the Hennessy. And I saw him at the start of the Tiestas. I went with Gallant Oscar, who was favourite. Tony Martin asked me in the Predator, what's our danger? And I pointed at Jack Adam. I couldn't believe how fat he was that day. He could be a superstar, Jack Adam. 10 to 1, they're the 2. Jack Adam Bosworth against the favourite.
What about the ground for Jack Adam?
He was cantering in the JLT last year and he fell over 2.5.
Okay, Tom, you're bound to have a view here. Come on, what wins the Gold Cup?
I don't like Silvinaco at all, to be perfectly honest. I think Kempton Suit, he's beating the same horses every single time. He beats the Dynast and Alpha Off, and every single time he wins the big race, he's beating the same horses. This time he's going to have all these dive bombing at him. I don't fancy him round Cheltenham at all. I think Kempton suits him, so he's off. Many Clouds, I think, does need soft ground. I think he needs soft ground. If he had soft ground, I'd fancy him. But I think that's the key to him. Road to Riches can't win, so forget that one. Hollywell's a chance if he jumps, but he's a tiny little thing that needs to jump. Jack Adam, I think, I'm going to say this quietly, I think he might even start favourite. Everywhere I've gone, all anyone talks about is Jack Adam. Jack Adam this, Jack Adam that. I personally think he's got a bit to prove. He's a 6-year-old that won a handicap last time. Terrible ground. I think the Gold Cup's a totally different kettle of fish. For me, I think this is one for the Irish, and I'm a massive fan of Carlingford the Lock. I think he won the Hennessy last time. It'd be APs. Do we want AP to win the Gold Cup before it retires? No. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. For me, well, I do. I don't know. Why? Because I've got my fortune on him. I think he's got a really good chance. I think the Hennessy form's really good. I think he's progressing. I think he's progressing. He stays really strongly, and I think that's the key. Provided he jumps, I think he's going to win.
Can you agree with
He's
he
in
runs?
there,
He's in the wrong race, isn't he?
Well, look, I think he's a really good horse. I wouldn't run him in this. There's so many. You'd have Sylvain and Arco chasing him and have them all up his arse. For me, it's the wrong race. But
we never give Lord Windermere enough credit, do we, really? And yet he keeps coming back and winning.
Look, it was a shocking race last year, wasn't it? I know, Barry, even I diss Jetski, I diss more of that. Even you've got to diss Lord Windermere, haven't you?
Yeah, like I said to you, Bobsworth didn't turn up on the day. Through the race, they were going slow, but yet I was flat in the boards, but they were going slow. It was a desperate race. He was ridden like an armchair. It was ridden to be placed, and it just happened. The race flip-flopped. Sylvain Ackle, he didn't get home, Michael didn't get home, and you have, 3 ranks coming through. They're the horses that normally will be 3rd, 4th and 5th, and the 2 class horses pull away. I think there's too many class horses in the race this year.
I just think that you look at Silvaniaco Conte.
For those of you who don't want to listen to it, can you get out and talk outside? There's a lot
Silvaniaco Conte is the best 3-miler in the country by a mile, and he's proved that by winning 2 King Georges. But the Gold Cup is 3 1/4, and that is the worry. I'm a huge Many Clouds fan. I think he's been really progressive all season, but I'm really worried about the ground for him. I did a preview night with Leighton Aspel the other night, and I asked him, I said, Leighton...
You remember this one, do you?
Yes, I did. I remember the last
He remembers Leighton Aspel, he doesn't remember me!
He's big on that, Ned. And I asked him, I said, how was he travelling in last year's RSA when he fell? On decent ground. And he said, I won't lie, I was just under the cosh a little bit, and he just felt like he was out of his comfort zone. Now that is a real concern if you're a Many Clouds backer. Yes, he's a bit more experienced this year, but the ground will be the same. There'll be a huge field in the Gold Cup this year, and horses that are under pressure will get found out. I think Lord Windermere, Davy Russell will ride him like he did last year. He'll creep round out the back, and I think the horse has got a great chance of being placed again. I'm not saying he'll win, but I think he's got a very good chance of being placed. I cannot emphasise enough, Barry will tell you this, if you ride a horse to be placed at the festival who's got a bit of ability, you've got a good chance of being placed. If you ride the same horse to try and win the race, you will be lapped, because you burn your petrol. Am I right or wrong, Barry?
No, it's said right, and it worked last year because the fancied ones didn't turn up. Silvanaco or Bobsworth didn't turn up, and I just think there's far too much class in the race to give Lord Windermere a chance. And his form has stand up. He's been stuffed. He hasn't won a race. I think Jim Cullenby's trained 1 winner since.
He hasn't had 1 winner since he won the Gold Cup.
He's saving us.
Yeah.
Road to Riches has done well, but he beat Sam Winner, and Sam Winner isn't even entered. So, you know, I know Bobsworth was 5 lengths behind him, so maybe I'm being delusional. But Bobsworth was bet 60 lengths ahead on his first run last season, so I think he's an awful lot better next time out. Road to Riches, I respect him more so than Lord Windermere because he's a little bit of an unknown. But the form of the Lexus, although you've Carlingford Lock, you know, you can argue for and against on it, but Sam Winner isn't a good enough yardstick to win the Gold Cup.
Fitzy, we were chatting, not the other night, but about an hour before this started, and you were very keen on Paint the Clouds and the Fox Hunters.
Yeah, the Fox Hunters, I think this horse has got an outstanding chance, been bought for this, and I think this horse will win. I did a thing with Gareth Topham, who's one of the 100 chase specialists, and he does a lot of the 100 chase, a lot of the pointed points, and he said that this horse is head and shoulders above anything else. Salsify is the Irish horse that comes over. He won it last year, he got lucky, and I think he's not the same horse this year, and I just think this Paint the Clouds could be a very good bet.
Okay, Matt.
Just on the Fox Hunters, JT McNamara says on the fringe will win the Fox Hunters, for what that's worth. JT McNamara says on the fringe will win the Fox Hunters.
Okay, and he's been 3rd and 4th on 2 previous attempts in the race. On the fringe. Okay, the Martin Pike conditional jockey's hurdle, the Grand Annual. Any view? Mac, no. Mick, Barry, Tom. We go back to the Albert Bartlett. Okay.
I'll just say, we did something with Rich Ritchie the other night, Tom and I, and we asked him about his. I remember that. Yeah, I remember Rich Ritchie. I don't remember it. And we asked him what one of his best chances was in the non-Grade 1 races, and he put up Blood Catil as his fancy. He's really sweet. They said it really well. So that's an interesting one for me.
Barry, you want to get back to the Albert Bartlett?
No, just but we missed them earlier. Good race. I want to know more heroes. I could be riding Apache or Karachi Apache or Out Sam, maybe Out Sam. But no more heroes was the one for me there. I won on him, beat Shane's Hill. He scoped badly when he got beaten the last day by Outlander and those, but still was only beaten 4 or 5 lengths. He could be the one there.
Right, best bets of the week. Matt, come on.
Zarkandar, 3 miles, not a yard further. Zarkandar.
Well, your previous record in Royal Ascot and Cheltenham previous has not been so special, so I can't
imagine being married to this woman? Can you imagine it? The hell of it?
Why have you turned up in your Hunter Wellies tonight? Cheltenham has not started. What a thought. Mick, come on, an each way better than meeting and a best better than meeting.
I think the each way better than meeting for me is Shane's Hill in the opener. He's got a great chance. And Windsor Park in the net tune is one I really like.
Barry, I think we know what you're going to say. It's all about Sprinter Sacra, isn't it?
Sprinter Sacra, Mafaloo, I thought they were my best 2 chances. Mafaloo and Obsford each way.
And if you could ride anything that obviously you're not, what would it be? Sprinter Sacra.
Well, yeah, Sprinter, but I'd love to have a go on Sue, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's definitely going to win that, but he'd be fun.
Okay. Tom? How many anti-post bets have you had going into the meeting?
614 at last count, but now I've been here, probably about 627 by the time I'm down here. I like Carlingford Lock would be my bet in the Gold. I like the Gold Cup. It's the best race of the meeting. I've gone all in on Carlingford Lock, and I'm going to keep backing him until he falls, probably.
Right, and before we let you go, Tom, what have you put up as your best bet tomorrow?
Horse of Paul Nicholls is running in the Imperial Cup at Sandown called Calypto. I was very keen on Barry's horse West Wizard until I saw that the ground at Sandown today was really testing. Barry might be able to help you out here, but I thought it might turn into a real slog, and those Nicholls horses, they just keep running, and I thought he might be suited by it.
Okay, Barry, come on, you've booked rides tomorrow. What are you looking forward to riding?
Yeah, West Wizard I am. I would have a concern about the ground, but the fact he's only got 10-8 in his back, we thought he was going to be a superstar. His form, he's struggling with his form, but he's really well at the minute. So I think he's a great chance at 10-8. And I ride, West Wizard in the Imperial.
West Wizard.
I ride one in the novice handicap, Eagle the Z. Yeah, it was good form and heavy ground. Would have a chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, massive round of applause. Oh, hang on. Hold on.
Let's ask you a question.
Oh, God.
How would you like to go to bed at night and wake up the next morning listening to me? Wouldn't that be fantastic? But I've got a quiz question for you, and this is the prize. Listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Prize.
We can't hear it.
No, it's a prize. You win this, and I've got you a quiz question.
Okay, well, come on.
A.P. McCoy, the only man to ride 4 consecutive festival winners. He rode the last 3 in '98 and the first in '99. What was the horse that he won the 4? Well done, who was that?
You either like it or you don't.
You've won me. There you are. You've won me.
Now that was definitely worth waiting for. Well done, Mac, thank you very much indeed. Fitzy, thank you. Barry, thank you. And Tom, thank you.